Hi, my name is Federico Sons, and I'm the author and game designer of the Nibiru role-playing game. Nibiru was born 2 years ago in a London cafe out of weird sketches and annotations of a strange space station that devoured the stars in order to nourish the life within it. It was a vision of humanity thriving in a place completely unlike our planet, a skyless world submerged in an ominous, awe-inspiring atmosphere. Nibiru is a game about memory. The players take on the role of vagabonds, amnesiacs who roam the world in search of their lost past. It uses a very simple, skill-less system to create your character as you go. Memory points allow you to write down memories on your journal. These memories are not just part of your character's background. Each of them also carries a bonus or penalty related to the memory, functioning as a narrative tool to unveil your character's strengths and weaknesses. As you play, you discover abilities that empower your writing, rewarding you if you write memories in rhyme, if you create expanded story arcs across their collections, introducing characters from your memories into the game, and many, many more. All in all, it rewards creative play in ways most games do not. The world of Nibiru is unlike anything else. Its people gather around the warmth of the core, carving cities out of massive metal vaults and praying for light to come their way. They travel far into places unknown, where the light dims and strange creatures roam, and where the ever-present weight of Nibiru's artificial gravity crushes all. It's a dark, mysterious place, which borrows heavily from the hard sci-fi as well as cyberpunk and folk horror, delivering a believable setting that we swear will inspire you. So what are you waiting for? Pack your valuables, gather your companions, and step into the shadows. Nibiru is waiting for you.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Encounter Roleplay. My name is Will, I'm a D&D sex icon and we're back today for another episode of Nibiru, a science fiction RPG of lost memories. And we're back today with the cast and crew, all minus Charlotte, who's off getting married. Congrats, but also rude for not being here. Just kidding. We've got the rest of us back today, and we also have a special guest joining us for today's episode as well. So let's go around the cast and crew, remind ourselves of who we are and who we're going to be playing tonight. And let's start with Drake. How you doing today, Drake?
I'm doing excellent. I'm hanging out here, finally ready to jump back into Nibiru where we left it off, where I will be playing Ubar of the Machine, and very waiting anxiously to see what hook you've now going to throw us after you've jabbed us in the nose as we left on the last cliffhanger.
Absolutely. And speaking of hooks or jabs, I don't know, Clerk of Court, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. I got a good right jab for you. Hi, I'm Kat. I'm a Clerk of Court, and I am playing Amits of the Dreadlands, who's about to find out just how much he enjoys being in dark tunnels underground. It's going to be interesting. It's not like there's dangerous beasts roaming around and that kind of thing.
It's never too late to find out that you really enjoy being in small, cramped, dark places.
This is true.
That's just
like
from
you.
personal experience. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Staffman, how you doing tonight, my friend?
Oh, doing great, Will. Hope the same goes for you. I'll be playing Alum of the Dreadlands, the somewhat neurotic semi-elderly person who is just having a quiet and peaceful conversation over the campfire with some good new friends of ours, if I recall.
Yeah, well, you and I have a different recollection of that, but parts of what you said were true. Fantastic, great to have you back with us, my friend. And of course, we have the Birdie Saurus joining us for today's show. How is it going, my friend? How you doing?
Oh, it is wonderful. I am happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I am Birdie, aka the Birdie Source, and I am playing Savi of the Wilds, and I mostly don't really know what that means. So this is going to be very interesting.
Yes, Buddy's joining us for today's episode, and no doubt we'll leave with a full and complete understanding of Nibiru, which is a game that we're playing today. And of course, we're here sponsored by Nibiru today. If you want to go check it out, you can head over. There are still the sort of link pledges that you can get on the Kickstarter, and then there'll be the pre-orders open on the Nibiru store. So head over to the link I've got down there, or in the link in the description to check it out. It's a really fun game, and we'll be explaining it as we play through today's show. And of course, we have a list of our other sponsors as well, which include this week we're sponsored by Gamely, an app on Google Play which aims to connect you with tabletop RPG players based on location. You can see players that are closest to you, those that are interested in games in common to you, and it's free to download via the Google Play Store, and will be shortly available on iOS in the fall of this year of our Lord, 2019. So definitely go and check out Gamely if you have a device which has Google Play, which I guess is Google Phones, question mark. I don't know anything about technology, but I know that iOS is full this year, so you'll be able to get it there. You can also check out their website as well, gamelyapp.com, to learn a little bit more about it. FantasyGrounds.com is a virtual tabletop of choice. Head over to Fantasy Grounds to check out beautiful maps and roles that you see that we're using on Fantasy Grounds. You can download it for free at Steam or on their website. WinnerGames.co.uk is a go-to destination for tabletop war games, board games, and more, up to 20% off. And of course, our sponsor, Tabletop Loot, sell incredible dice over on their website, tabletoploot.com. When we hit 20 retweets on this tweet, we'll give away a set of dice to you guys there in the chat. So if you haven't gone and retweeted, go hit that retweet button on the tweet, and we'll give away a set of dice for you guys. Of course, you can donate to the game as well. We'll give players net 1s, net 20s, wild magic surges, and worse. But let's have a quick recap of what happened last time of the show tonight. And the person who so willingly volunteered to do our recap is, in fact, Drake. I'm kidding. I'll do it. Just sing the sweat bead off his forehead. So last time, the bunch of vagabonds that we have here were just getting into the city of Nataku. They met with an old friend of theirs, Genevieve, who explained there's a situation of the caravans to the north in this strange land of Nibiru, which we're in, and that these caravans have been attacked by something and people weren't coming back. They decided, like reasonable, good adventurers, to go and check it out. What's the worst that could happen? But they were dismayed to find dead bodies along the way, as well as these strange creatures, like spark creatures that kept messing with the electricity, and the amount of water that was in here was seemingly quite dangerous. But it seemed like they were being herded or egged on by something bigger in the area. The amount of damage that was done to the tunnels couldn't have been by just these small little sparklings. Pressing onwards, they found a body which had been sort of ripped apart by something big that they suspected might be a slicer, a pretty eldritch-looking creature, which would be a menace to the whole city of Nataku, where it's to be here. They pushed on until they found some survivors, including a band of mercenaries led by a man named Daveron, who seemed super trustworthy. And unfortunately, plot twist, he wasn't. At the end of the episode, it turns out that Daveron's got something super fucked up going on with him, and spoke in a strange, machine-like voice to the party. But of course, they had chosen to split up. Top half of the party had decided to go and check out what was going on in some of the tunnels nearby with some of Daveron's men, while the others stayed behind. Now they suspect that Daveron may be working with this creature, the Slicer. To what ends, they're not sure, but certainly they will be nefarious. So that's about where we're going to pick up today. We're actually going to pick up on the other side of things, back with Arments and Uber. It's been a little while, so let's remind ourselves of what our characters just look like. And of course, because we have Birdie with us today, get some descriptions of what your characters look like as well, so they're fresh in our minds. Let's start with Uber. Uber, what do your good self look like?
Okay, Uber is a very dirty and almost run-down mannequin-like robot. He used to be a butler server bot for the people that he was with. They sold the house, didn't bother to power him on and take him with them. So one day when he powered on himself, when the AI kicked in, he came out to serve the people, and everyone was gone. So he's kind of looking for his masters, but he looks like an old butler droid that hasn't been taken care of.
Fantastic. And what about Almonds?
Amit's looks kind of grizzled. He tends to keep his lower half of his face covered. Very short, salt and pepper kind of hair. He's got that 1,000-yard stare. Always kind of that haunted look, like he's somewhere else. A little twitchy, a little jumpy. Otherwise, he stands about 5'10", 6 foot. Kind of rangy build. Walks and moves like somebody who has fought all his life.
Fantastic. So the two of you stand in this tunnel, which has been flooded with water. At this point, up to about your shins. You've pressed through to with one of Daveron's men to figure out what was going on with a nearby generator, which Daveron had suspected maybe the creature had been drawn to. And you found it pretty beaten up. And the man had explained to you that he was suspicious of Daveron's practices and that he may be not such a good guy. And this is where you stand. You're yet to know what's going on with the other two, but you do have like radios between the group of you to coordinate and communicate. At this point, though, it seems as though, concerningly, that the channel has gone down. You notice that when you try and buzz through to your friends on the other side, there's no signal coming through.
And we hadn't seen any sign of the slicer either. I think the soldier was telling us. I remember that Nibiru told them anytime they would leave is when the thing would attack, and the story wasn't starting to add up. We were kind of just tuning into. There's a lot of inconsistencies here. And then when we tried to get in touch with them, it went out. I think it's kind of. I know Amit is just kind of standing there with the bladed weapon, because energy weapons in water probably not a good idea. So he's standing there with a bladed weapon, just kind of keeping an eye out, starting to get a little twitchy.
Yeah, the man starts to look concerned. Says, "I can't seem to get through on the radio to the others. Do you think everything's okay?"
Well, you were just talking to them, and now communication is cut. Is there another way to reach your base?
Not without this working. Maybe we should head back.
Very
That
well,
seems
but I believe you should lead the way.
Okay. And as you guys are headed down the tunnel, splashing through the water quite loudly, you see someone running out from a tunnel ahead of you through the gloom and darkness. And that is, of course, Savi. Savi, do you want to describe what they see as you're rushing through this tunnel here?
Yeah, so Savi is definitely flustered and kind of tripping over things, and as she runs out, and you can see she's average height, about 5'6", 5'7", and she has long brown hair, but it's kind of scraggledy. You can tell it hasn't been washed in a while, and she's wearing clothes. They're not anything special, but they seem to be well taken care of, but not anything special or elaborate. And but she does seem kind of dirty, but in a way that she doesn't seem to care.
Right.
So she's just kind of like, whatever, kind of hippie.
For sure. Now, you've been aware, I mean, you may have even come across some of the dead bodies of the people around here, which have been ripped apart by what could only be some gigantic creature, or maybe a serial killer for all you know. And you're trying to find the city of Nataku, but whatever's down here clearly is still around, and so you're trying to move cautiously, but moving through the water is quite loud. And about the same time that they see you see them, Arment, Ubar, and what looks to be a soldier out in the gloom.
Yeah, immediately. I mean, she is on her own and she doesn't really know what's going on. So what can you help me? Can someone help me get out of here? That it's still back there. It's still back there.
What's still back there?
I don't know, but it's back there. We got to get
Then
out. You can't go that way.
How do you know it is there if you do not know what it is?
Oh man, it's just the bodies and the screams. Didn't you hear the screaming?
My audio receptors picked up nothing of that sort.
Okay,
No,
well,
there's part of our group is back with at the headquarters with the soldiers leader. We're headed back that way now. Why don't you come with us, and we'll make our way. Apparently, there's a slicer that's been moving through here, and that's what's been killing people.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean it's done some damage. I'll tell you that much. So yeah, absolutely. If you guys don't mind, I would love to tag along.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Amit.
I'm Savi.
I am Ubar.
Nice to meet you. Ubar and Amit. Nice to meet you both. Thank you.
Do you have a weapon?
I have a blade weapon.
All right. Just need to know if you can defend yourself or not.
Yes, yeah. I don't know how it got here, but I've got it.
That is understandable.
Maybe you picked it up from one of the bodies.
All right, let's head back.
Okay. You start making your way back through this tunnel to the bunker in which you and the others had been only maybe half an hour ago or so now. It's a circular chamber which has sandbags built up around it, and it had a bunch of gear which you suspected may have been stolen from caravans that had been traveling out of Nataku this whole time. You suspect that these guys aren't in fact soldiers of Nataku and were actually just mercenaries who are or bandits, really, I guess, raiders. But upon your return, you don't see any lights on. Maybe you're about 50 feet away. You don't see any lights on from inside that chamber anymore. And you can't make out the sign of anyone inside.
Amins, we were not gone that long. They would not have left camp.
No, they wouldn't have. No bodies floating in the water, no sparking, anything that indicates that something may have attacked them here.
From this distance, you'd expect you're like looking in for a door 50 feet away. There's nothing outside which looks like there's been any more of a disturbance than there had been before, but you'd have to get closer to check it out.
All right. Yeah, I think
it would appear that I have lost Senata yet again.
Yeah, but let's hope not. Let's hope not. Alam's with her. He can take care of himself. He can take care of her too. Let's go see what we can find out. And Amit is actually going to start kind of moving forward a little bit, past the soldier, and kind of creeping up towards that door.
You begin to poke your head in, well aware that there could be something quite malicious inside. The first thing that you see is a body on the floor. For a moment, you fear the worst, but it looks like one of the soldiers. He's been ripped apart, head to toe, completely eviscerated. It's dark in here, so you're going to have to turn on a light or a flashlight to start looking around inside. He looked like he was going for the door, though. Looks like he's trying to run.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and flick on a light. See if I can get a light to work. Whether I've got a headlamp or something like that.
Yeah, you turn on the headlamp so you can start looking around and gaze into the room to see that it looks like a fight happened here quite recently, and something very powerful must have overturned a bunch of sandbags. Maybe there were some explosions here as well. There are several other bodies on the floor. The other 2 soldiers that were here have also been strung from head to toe, clawed apart by something that must be incredibly strong. There's no sign of Daveron, but you do make out Arlem's. He is unconscious. It looks like he's been attacked by something, but he's not dead. His wounds look more superficial than the others. However, there is no sign of Sonata or Daveron.
I motion Ubar forward. Alam is injured.
I will attend. And go roll him over, start checking out how severe these wounds are.
They're deep, but they're not deep in the places that would end up killing you pretty quickly. He's got sort of wounds across like his shoulders and his forearms where it looks like he's held off some kind of attack. But
okay.
He's if you were to give him a splash of cold water, he's likely to come round from whatever daze he's in right now.
Start waking him up and start dressing his wounds with stuff out of my pack.
Yeah. You wake him up and go ahead.
It does appear that Alam is still functioning, and will be with us again soon. So,
and at that point, Ahmet, is kind of standing with his back against the wall, kind of crouched down by one of the sandbags, holding his weapon, and just kind of not present at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is a little bit out of the frying pan and into the fire, guys. I'm not sure. This does not seem safer than where we were before.
It is much safer. We have walls surrounding us and a secure location. The being has already been here. It will not come back twice. It has already done its damage.
The soldier that's also with you looks to be kind of shitting himself right now as well. He's like, "This is bad. She's right. We need to get back to the city and get the hell out of here." And the others, they must be dead. I mean, Daveron's not here. He's probably dead too, been taken away by the creature. And you had a friend here. She's almost certainly been killed by it now. There's nothing left for us here.
You are quite sure of this?
Well, look what it did to the others.
Yes, but Sonata would have left a fight. I believe she is probably tracking it.
Well, that's not my problem. This is way too much for me. I'm gonna make my way to my city on my own if I have to.
No, you're staying.
Why would I do that?
Because it's safer together.
Like it was safer for this lot together? I mean, there was 5-6 of them in this room and it butchered them.
Then run.
Well, when
He'll
we
die
rouse
anyway.
Alam, we will find out more of what actually happened. Things are not quite adding up. So we'll try more to revive Alam.
Yeah, at this point, Alam, you do come around. So, first when you wake up, your memory of exactly what's happened is it's pretty hazy. You look up and you see Ubar, and you realize that you're somewhere on the ground. You look down at yourself, and it looks like you've been attacked by something. And you can hear them trying to speak to you, but at first your hearing is not there. And after maybe a couple of minutes of them trying to help you, you sort of come round a little bit, and you recall what happened, at least in flashes. You remember Daveron speaking in some strange mechanical-like voice, and then something attacked. Something big is what you remember. You remember turning to try and fight with Sonata, and then being hit and knocked unconscious. You're not sure if Daveron was that monster, or if he just brought whatever creature it was, like it was he was his master. You're not sure. But a group of you do notice him sort of coughing up some blood and going back to consciousness.
What? Oh no!
Hello, friend Alam.
You.
I have stopped some of your leaks. You should be recovering soon.
Leaks are one thing. Overstimulated circuits another. And he goes to sit up and doesn't quite make it and just falls back.
Ubra will assist him in sitting up and rising. Probably faster than he wants.
Oh. Where'd they go? I think he called it, became it. Oh, haven't seen such a monstrosity since. And he sits still and just shivers. Then says, "No, haven't seen such a monstrosity."
Very interesting.
And then he looks down and sees one of the corpses. And looks down on him at himself. And there's a almost maniacal smile that just touches his lips as he sighs and goes, "And so I am doomed to continue." Who's... Look, hang on, that's not Sinada.
No, we acquired her along the way. Her name is Safi. She's also venturing out to find new things.
I'm Savi. Can we leave now? Is he awake? Can we go?
Are you well enough to move?
I think I can move. And he'll hunt around, probably grab an energy staff or something from somebody, but will basically entirely just use it as a walking stick, pretty much shorting it out against the puddles as he goes. And just mechanically, Will, is that 1 or 2 levels?
It's actually 2 levels. This thing got you pretty good.
Fair dues.
Ouch.
Amits is kind of curled up on himself, hunched up like he's in pain, and he's just, I remember. Dead, all of them dead. They tried to run, they tried to surrender. We wouldn't let them. Slaughtered them all. I couldn't help. I remember. And he just closes his eyes and just kind of groans, holding himself, just rocking back and forth. I remember.
Is he okay?
Not sure. Alam has always tried to tap the memories, but has never gone this deep into himself.
Should we splash some water on him, or... I really think we should leave. This isn't helping.
Yeah, these guys really don't seem to have the same like impetus as you do to try and leave. In fact, you're beginning to suspect that maybe they don't even want to leave. It's concerning.
Question. I don't know how skills work or checking skills. I know that you kind of don't have any, or if I wanted to do something, how would I do it?
Right. So what are you trying to do, first of all?
Well, so if I'm seeing all these bloody bodies around and everything, and I come from a wild-like place, I can imagine myself seeing a trail of blood and then trying to track it like an animal.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't even need to roll for something like that, because actually the bodies are so like fresh and the blood is so clear, and there's a lot of it, that you're pretty confident in being able to tell which way it went.
Okay.
It went further out, which is opposite from the way that you came from, which is probably good news, just following the blood. Once you get outside of the room, however, you see the blood trail goes up the wall and up into the roof, where there's a big break in the ceiling where it looks like something big burst its way through and is now in the ventilation.
Oh, good. Also, question: if I were to be tracking this creature's blood, and I had heard that they were missing a friend, could I also potentially see a blood trail that was a little smaller that maybe belonged to a human? Do I see anything like that?
You see, not necessarily a blood trail, but you do see like a hand print in the wall where someone's tried to like pull themselves up, and looks like successfully.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you guys. Said you had a friend. She's missing, right?
Yes, Sonata. She was
okay,
of the
well,
wild.
Right. If you guys aren't willing to get the hell out of here and go somewhere else, at least we can try to find your friend. And I found this trail, and it looks like maybe she got out. There's a handprint over here, and we don't want to go in the vents, though. There's that thing went up there. I don't know if you can see this, and I pointed out, but it definitely went through that hole. It's not not good.
That is new.
Yeah.
So, well, with the memory, now that's a -1 to mind, I think, for Amund's. Am I correct on that, or do I have to roll a stress test, or do I just take the -1?
I think you take the -1, but we can make sure, because I had it. I had it just a moment ago, which means that I'll never find it again, probably.
And I think then you get to add an influence as a flip of that.
Yeah, I had it here. He said that with such confidence that I could find the thing that I was looking for. All right, we're talking about
Deadlands on page 134.
There it is.
Right, and then I was looking at 107 on the.
I was looking at 107 as well.
engines.
Yeah. Full state of mind. Okay, stress, shaken and broken. Being shaken confirms a 1 die penalty. Yeah, I'd say you're shaken right. So yeah, -1 die penalty to all of your actions.
Okay.
Well, let's take the stress test to see how much
Okay.
this actually affects you. So let's have 3 rolls of 3 or 4 dice. Yeah. Roll 3d4.
Okay. Two, 3, and 3 for 8.
Okay, and we're looking for 4s for a success.
well, then,
Yeah, so ain't any of those numbers. We were just talking about how the fancy grounds is not treating you so well. So this experience, this memory for Arment has caused him to become stressed. He's not yet shaken, but he's visibly stressed.
Okay. And that gives me a
the rest of you
-1.
notice -1 to all dice rolls while you
Okay.
are stressed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys notice while you've been investigating and talking to each other that Armand seems to be kind of out of it and seems to be sort of going through something. You're not sure exactly what's happening to him.
Ubar will trundle up to Aments and Aments, are you now in need of aid?
There's no help from me now. For any of them.
True, they have ceased to function, but you still are functioning. And he'll pick his hand up and drop it.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I am. Right. Where are we going? Sonata. He took. Where's Sonata?
Sonata is missing. Safi believes that there is a way to find her, but also everyone seems to be eager to get back to the city for safety. Perhaps we need to report to our employer that it is messier down here than she thought.
It's one way to put it.
Yes, she sent us here to clean. This will need quite a scrub brush.
Yeah, you might just want to burn it down.
I think Amit's at that point is actually going to kind of click to that Alam is actually kind of conscious, and they've fought before, and I think that seeing that will kind of help steady him, that knowing that Alam. So he's just going to go over to Alam, take his arm, put him around his shoulder, help him up, and let's go get you taken care of. Let's head back to Nataku. We'll have to come back for Sonata.
Unless she has already gone there herself. Should I acquire any of these supplies that were left here? As
Everything
no one
was-
else will be using them.
Seems reasonable to me. Let's do it. Take what you can
We
carry.
should maybe bring some back to our trader contact to let her know that the caravan contents, at least, has been found.
Yeah. Take back
Shall
what
I
we
grab
can.
some?
Yeah, we can
Is there
carry
a
what we
bigger
can.
type case to carry him with that I could muscle?
Yeah. You can bring a big case. I mean, there is a lot of stuff. So you're going to not be able to take all of it for sure, but you can take a good bit back, at least enough to show her the stolen goods and that you guys did, in fact, find it here.
I'll push back the need to take them alphabetically and just take what is most valuable.
Okay. Cleaning up, carrying yourselves out, you begin to head back the way you came, to the south, to Nataku, back to safety. Something you realize on your way back, you may be 20 minutes out from the room that you were just in, and someone's probably going to need to be soldier carrying, helping out Alam as he's going for his injuries. You notice that the water level seems to be rising somewhat precipitously in this section of the tunnels. Where previously it was up to your shins, you notice now that it's well past your thigh, coming up to your chest, and the water seems to be gushing in at a worrying rate. You fear getting back to Nataku in time, knowing how long it took you to get out here in the first place.
Anybody bring something to breathe underwater with?
Well, I will be okay. I am concerned about all of you.
You'll be okay until
Your
you rest
systems
and your
require
electronics
oxygen.
sort out.
Well, that could be. That would be most disheartening.
Yeah. Yes, it would. Do we continue? So we can either hope that we don't drown on our way back, or we turn around and we head back the other way.
Correct.
Can we swim? Is swimming a thing in this game?
No, it's not yet.
Not for the guy who's a machine. No, we sink real well.
Ubar gets to walk along the bottom, but I don't know how long Amets is going to be able to do the lifeguard swim with Alam pulling him behind.
Right, yeah. A couple of problems face swimming in these underwater tunnels. The first one is that after a certain point, the tunnel is going to flood completely and you're going to drown. There won't be space to breathe. Yeah, and the other one is that the fact that Ubar is a fucking machine. He's going to start going haywire.
Okay. I didn't realize he was moving that fast. It was going to fill all the way to the top, but...
Yeah.
It feels that way at this
drown.
point, yeah.
I don't want to drown. We should not go this way.
Well, so much for getting back to the city. Alam, how are you doing?
Alam has lost his ability to communicate.
He's drowning.
I'm fine. I've had worse.
Yeah, but there was medical attention close by when you did.
Yeah, he's really not in a good shape. He's been clawed apart.
Were there any type of first aid kits or better medical supplies back with the caravan stuff that we left?
Yeah, there was some medical stuff back there that you could potentially try and use, yeah.
You know what? I think that's going to be our best bet is to head back there. We've got sandbags, we've got supplies. We can put up a defensive perimeter and see what we can do to at least rest, get Alam healed up a little bit more before we try to go anywhere. And he just turns around and Alam and just starts taking him back the way they came.
Yeah, realizing that it's becoming impossible to continue further down. Are you going as well, Saf? Are you going to head with the group? Or are you going to try and press on?
No, I'm going to go with him.
Okay. So you head back, and further back this way, the tunnels are filling less with water than the ones that you were headed towards. So you return to the relative safety of not being about to drown, but potentially being eaten by a terrific monster. So lesser of two evils, maybe. But you get back into the room, and there is some medical equipment there, and there are like rations and foods that looks like it will be good for a little while to eat from.
All right. Well, given that he was a soldier, both in his memories and in actuality, he's going to go ahead and start patching up Alam, using just the battlefield medicine kind of stuff, doing what he can to sew up his wounds, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Getting him comfortable. And then kind of directing Ubar and Savi on how to set up the sandbags to create a tighter perimeter and that kind of thing. Checking the bodies that were torn up, they get chucked way away. Because if there's anything out there that wants to eat, it can chow on that, not them.
That's fair.
Survival.
As you're sort of resting at the camp, you hear a crackle on the radios that you've been using. It was dead before, but back here it seems like the signal is being able to be established.
I look at Ubar. That's.
Would you like me to answer that?
Yes, please.
It's like coming through Ubar's like interface. It's like he's ringing, and there's a little phone that you can pick up from.
Agent 99. Yeah, Ahmed is like wrist deep in Alam, trying to fix him up.
Yes, this is Ubar. Hello?
So some of you are still alive then. I wondered if you'd make it out of there or not. Tell me, how is, what was his name? Alam? Is he still alive?
Alam is quite well. I am glad you are checking on him. How are you doing?
I'm deeply, deeply concerned about his well-being, yes. Very concerned indeed. I'm so happy to hear that he's doing well. Now, the tunnels back to Nataku are flooded. I've made sure of that, which means you can wait there and die, or you can try and come and find me.
Ah, you wish to play a game of tag. I see. This can be arranged.
That's right.
Because I do not believe
It's
you
always-
honestly cared about it.
It's always more fun when the food puts up a bit of a fight.
I see. So we are now your food.
But you always were, yes. But I'm very hungry now that I've feasted on the flesh of those fools back there, and I also have eaten a part of Sonata. But there are still parts of her left to eat. She's actually still squealing over there. But I think in time I'll finish her off. Maybe start with a leg, a bit of an arm, maybe. Flesh
Then
tastes so
please.
sweet.
Give me your coordinates so I may rip your limbs off and feast upon them myself.
Head northwards, follow my trail, and you'll find me. Unless, of course, I find you first.
Either way, your termination will be imminent. Goodbye. The asshole has
All
called.
of you. Yeah, all of you heard that, by the way.
Yeah. Alex looks at
His-
Sonata and goes, he and Sonata are kind of close, and he feels protective of her because he keeps losing her. So
Yes.
that's
When we are prepared, we will go prepare this thing's grave. It now must meet its end. And Ubar will immediately start trying to find anything to take to go kill this thing.
Ubar.
Yes?
Can we wait a little bit longer for Alam to heal? We should all rest. I know you don't need it, but I think the rest of us do. We need to eat. We need to rest. Alam needs to heal a little bit, and then we can continue.
How is Sabi taking this new information, this mysterious caller promising death?
The face I'm making is the face she's making. She's just like, what's happening? So, I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me back up. You guys have gotten involved with someone that wants to eat you?
It would appear that way. He will find us hard to chew on, though.
Okay. I've
Ubar
made
can
very
be a
bad
little tough
decisions
to swallow.
today. I have made very bad decisions today. Okay, how do we not get eaten? Is this what is this thing is what did all this?
Most likely, yeah.
We get them before they get us.
Yep, that's
It
it.
sounds like he's already got you. Or at least one of you. This is bad. This is bad.
But
It's
there's
real
more
bad,
of
guys.
us than there are of him.
Okay.
And he doesn't quite know who he's dealing with. And I
Right.
look at Alam. There's kind of that shared memory. Alam and Amit's fought together. There were kind of like skirmishes, wars that broke out in different refugee camps. And Alam and Amit spent time fighting together in those wars and those skirmishes. So they're accustomed to battle. They're accustomed to doing that. So there's that old soldier kind of like, yeah, we're gonna go take care of this. You don't leave somebody behind.
I'll be right back. All right.
Savi's gonna kind of just take a real deep breath, look around, and say, well, damn it, to be honest, I really don't have anywhere else to go. I don't have anything else to do, and I'd prefer that this thing get dead real fast. And I already owe you guys as it is, so if you need the help, I'll stick around. I'm not happy about it, but I'll stick around.
Could you help Ubar maybe sort out food and weapons supplies that we can take with us? He likes to alphabetize things.
Okay.
So, if you could just kind of put them in generic groups, and then he'll alphabetize from there. We can choose what we need to take with us, what we can take with us.
I can do that. That is the least dead thing that I can think of to do right now. So yeah, we'll do that. And I'll go start grabbing stuff and sticking in piles.
You're muted.
Ubar's method of alphabetizing is changing from, ABC to lethal and non-lethal. So.
It's actually a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever good it can kill this thing repeatedly. I mean, we're putting butter knives in the lethal section. So.
Hey, I don't know about you guys, but I've been sliced pretty good with a butter knife before, so.
Yeah, they're not fun. No.
It's the
Cut for a little bit and then they tear. So.
Uncle or my cousin, Amuzes turns to Arment. It does indeed appear that our battles and strife are not over, and he gets whereas he normally has an almost paranoid, quick glancing look about him. It's like it shifts slightly, and now it's almost like he's constantly trying to look out the back of his neck. And he's just trying to keep up against walls.
I was gonna say Amitz he'd help Alam to actually get set so that he's in a corner with his back in the corner, facing out diagonally, and then bunker him in that corner, and make sure that he's got a weapon at hand that requires a moment or two before it can be used, so that if he falls asleep and starts awake, that he's not going to kill anybody right off the bat.
Right. Yeah, and the perimeter seems safe enough for now. You know that, it was recently attacked, but it's, you guys got a tight enough perimeter set up to feel comfortable. Maybe taking a rest here if you guys wanted to get a proper sleep in, because you have been on the road for quite some time now. You guys are pretty exhausted from wading through water for hours on end. It's fucking tiring.
Yeah, let's let them rest, and I'll put myself on a low power mode, so I'm still observant and everything and ready to fire off, but I'll stay watch.
Just turn your notifications off for the afternoon.
Mm-hmm, exactly. Yeah.
I'm unplugging. I'm taking a mental health day.
Airplane mode.
I think Amit's out of habit is still going to take a watch, but he's going to make sure everybody is fed, that Ubar has whatever power requirements he needs met. Make sure that Savi's hanging in there, and he's probably every 15 minutes, no matter what he's doing, he goes back and checks on Alam, and then goes back to what he's doing.
How is Alam doing during this rest?
He's sleeping unusually deeply. The wounds that he's taken, the blood that he's lost, whereas normally he's a fitful light sleeper, once he falls asleep, and it's almost like small child. He fights it and then just goes dead to the world, but not quite literally yet. And he's basically out of it, healing sleep sort of state.
Okay. And what about Savi during this rest? What are you up to?
I'm probably in a corner crying.
Silent sobbing.
Yeah, pretty much. She's very confused and very lost and very angry, and like I said, she's made some bad decisions today, so she's just reflecting and trying to work out maybe in her head some plans and stuff, and trying to think if she's got any skills that might help them do whatever they need to do, because I mean, if she doesn't have all her memories, right, she can't remember everything she can do, so she's just kind of going, like, come on. Mm-hmm. Can I do that? Can I do this? So
yeah, I think maybe something that you notice is that maybe you're not the only one here that seems to be dealing with that same like lack of memory. Ahmed seems to be muttering under his breath about remembering something that's happened, and now has taken on quite a sort of fatalistic mood. So you do notice that these three, whoever the hell they are and whatever the hell they're doing down here, seem to be having a similar sort of experience to the one that you've been having recently.
Yeah, she'll definitely take that in though. She might later, after she's done some soul searching, she might bring it up, but she's just contemplating right now.
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot for her to take in right now. So you guys rest for maybe 8 hours of sleep or so, taking some shifts. And over the course of those 8 hours, towards the end, you begin to notice that the water from the way that you came back to Nataku seems to have begun to flood the tunnel outside of the room that you're in. And there's like a little sort of pool of water beginning to form underneath the door, and it's creeping in. It'll probably be a couple of hours before this place goes under as well.
How is Alam doing? Does he look like he's feeling a little bit better? Maybe that he's going to be moving around.
So you're up one track on the physical violence track, whatever it's called. After that rest, Alam. So you're still wounded, but you're feeling a lot better in terms of movement. You can get around a little better than you could before.
All right, everybody take as much food as you can carry, whatever weapons you can carry. Let's go.
All right, let's go.
Oh, and armor, any armor that we can find, even if it's like makeshift pieces of metal that we can make makeshift breastplates out of by stringing wire to put over the shoulders, that type of thing.
We could always strip down the dead bodies.
That's true. Although I think whatever ripped them up probably ripped through their armor.
A lot of the armor is damaged. It's not to say that it wouldn't be usable. But yeah. You'd have to spend... It depends how much time you want to spend doing that, really, is the only question.
How long would it take us just to strip them down real quick? Just take what's usable, strip it off of them, put it on, and leave with our other stuff.
Maybe an hour between a group of you to get that done, yeah.
Well, they're dead. And the humans, of course, the humans will be nice with the body. The machine doesn't have to be.
That's true.
I think I could probably rip a jacket off with the arm. Yeah, it just the arms are broken. So what? It's so.
We'll leave Ubar to do that. while we're packing up the rest of the stuff.
That could be part of my night prepping while they're resting, is taking stripping them down and then also sticking every sharp object to my body that I can with duct tape.
Okay.
Good to know
So you
duct
guys
tape is a
spend-
thing even in Nibiru.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
Has to be.
for sure it is.
Either that or
it's now
magnets.
canon. we need a ruling on this. This needs to be in the book about duct tape versus magnets. Magnets for sure are a thing in Nibiru. Duct tape, I'm not so sure. Does duct tape exist in sci-fi? I don't know. Sure it does. It's probably called something, fucking sci-fi like sci-tape or fucking,
Duct tape in the science fiction too.
Yeah, it's got a dark side, it's got a light side, it holds everything together.
It's the one thing that hasn't changed in the dark, futuristic universe that is Nibiru. Is duct tape survived.
I'm going to go back and watch the Star Trek original episodes because I know somewhere Scotty has to have duct tape. Somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
And we know the Doctor Who monsters are all zipped up, so...
Yep.
It's true.
Yeah, so anyway, away from that sidebar about duct tape, I'm sure your dear listener were wondering about. You guys strip down some dead bodies. It's a totally normal thing to do on the first day, and take whatever gear and armor you can carry with you, whatever provisions you have. You head out towards the north. Now, question for all of you, the bloody stain ran up into the roof where it looks like Sonata went into the sort of ventilation shaft. Would you guys like to follow that trail, or are you going by foot through the tunnels of Nibiru? What's the plan?
If we can all fit to the vents and that's the way she went, then that would be the way we would go. At least that would be Ahmed's way of thinking.
And yes,
Looks
I can
pretty
probably rip-
claustrophobic and tight up there, pulling your
Oh
way
yeah,
through. Maybe that's
there's
not...
more coming through. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's going to be
Yeah.
more of those.
Did she went up into the vent, or just the monster went into the vent?
Both. She followed.
Both
Sonata's
did.
quite
Okay,
a
sorry, I
badass.
didn't catch that. I didn't catch that the
Yeah.
first time.
No worries,
Okay.
no worries.
Oh man. I do not want to go up there, but it seems to be the only
We
way
could
to
just
go
follow.
at this point.
We could just follow the ventilation shaft from the ground.
Yeah, where does this ventilation shaft go? Do we know? Can we tell?
It goes up. It looks like, at least for now, you could follow it. But you, knowing the sort of maze-like structure of Nibiru, you guys have lived in it for a long time, you know that not necessarily would this shaft follow the tunnel, so you may lose it if you were to follow by foot.
Can I test the shaft though with my weight being machine?
Drake, you can always test the shaft with your weight.
That's almost bad to watch it.
If life has taught me anything, and I'm not sure it has.
Damn it! I love playing with Will.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it will support your weight.
Okay.
And probably for all of you as well. These things are built to last. If anything, it's less of a ventilation shaft, more of a service shaft.
Wait, so the machine is being serviced and
There it is.
welcome to
Yeah,
the
we just
after
lost our
dark portion.
PG-13. Exactly, we lost our PG-13 rating right there. So.
Yes, it will hold your weight if you wanted to like jump up there and test it.
I'll get in it and then I'll start lifting people up to
Yeah.
head down the shaft.
It's taking a turn, isn't it? Yeah. Sure thing. Let's have a marching order. Let's have a shaft order. Who's it sounds like Ubar is leading the charge, as it were. Who's next?
I'll be first to take the shaft.
There it is.
The whole party's
Savi
getting
will,
shafted.
Savi will offer to go next since she's the one that found the trail to begin with, just in case she can help.
Yep.
If it gets a little squishy up there.
You never do know.
So Amos would suggest then
The shape
putting
of-
that Alam goes after Savi, and then Amos will bring up the rear. That way he can keep an eye on Alam.
Keeping an eye on alarm, yeah.
Yep.
Beautiful. Okay. So when you get in here, it is a sort of die-hard situation in terms of you're like pulling yourself forward. Man, why did I have to call it a ventilation shaft? I should just call it a ventilation fucking, I don't know, tunnel or something.
System.
The ventilation tunnels. Yes, the system of ventilation. In
It's
which you
too
find
late.
yourself.
You already said shaft.
You can't go back, really, can you? You begin to put yourself through on your like elbows, and I'll just stop describing it at this point. Uber, give me a spot check. Roll me 3d4, and I'll tell you what happens. Then we'll just move on. There's a 4 in there. Thank God he sees something. So amongst the gloom in which you find yourself in, you see that the tunnel splits to the left and to the right.
Wait, so now we have 2 shafts to worry about?
You know what's fucking funny is that I wrote these notes without realizing how fucking dirty it all sounded at the time. I'm like, there's a split in the shaft. Like, how did I write that and not see how this would be? Okay. You have a choice before you to either head left or to head right. You see that the blood marks. Yeah, now it's less sexy. You see that the blood marks with your successful spot check are headed to the left, to the east.
But he said he was north.
You certainly
Or is
did.
that
Well, you got a
west?
choice between you got a choice between east and west at the point. At this point.
Okay. So the trail seems to go to the east. I believe we should follow it.
That makes sense.
Very well.
Reasonable.
Let us continue.
Okay. It's pretty claustrophobic in these tunnels, and I'd like everybody to roll me a stress check, which is 4d4. Nice. As the gloom of Nibiru begins to impress itself upon you.
Ooh.
Who didn't roll a 4?
Me.
Yay. Uba didn't, and that's all the
I
rest
was
of you.
one down, and I managed to roll a couple of 4s.
Yeah, that's just as well. Uba, you're also stressed, which means that you have a -1 at the moment. Uba, you're leading the way, and even this gets to you, despite being a machine. Perhaps it's the fact that you're like, it feels like you're in the body of a machine, as you're like, you feel like you're in a part of Nibiru that you haven't been to before. It's stressful, and with you being on the front, you don't know what you might run into, and you feel responsible for finding Sonata as well, and so you're sort of beginning to stress out a bit. Do you think this might, seeing as we've had a few other cool memory moments here, do you think this brings up anything for Ubar? Has he been in a situation like this before, or is this a totally new one?
This one, I think, would trigger back when he was just a simple AI and was being run in the house before he actually got the body form to where he could see and what was going on and want to help. But because he was just an artificial intelligence, he just had to wait until something happened, but was helpless looking at his masters struggling. And now he's sensing the struggle, but he's now back in that wiring almost.
Right.
So yeah, this would
You
definitely
guys,
be.
Yeah. I think you guys notice Ubar seemed to be slowing down, and then even at one point he seems to just stop and seems to be. I mean, you can barely see because you're in this sort of tunnel, but you can tell that he's I don't know, concerned with something. He seems to be slowing. It's not like Ubar to like act. I guess like to act human, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Ubar, you doing all right up there? I'm trying to look around his butt.
We need to go north, and this tunnel keeps taking me east. This is not where we need to go. We need to go north. He said north. Senka is north. Need north track channel now.
Wait, it's okay. I'm pretty sure that these wind around a lot, and you said this is the way the trail went, so we should follow the trail, right?
We should.
It'll eventually go north.
Need it to go north faster. And I'm just going to start banging in the direction of north into the pole, almost like trying to get it to turn itself.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Guys, your friend is freaking out.
Ubar, he told us to go north because that was the initial direction that we needed to head. We took that initial direction. We will continue to follow the trail that will lead us to him.
Senada is in trouble. I should not have left.
I don't think any of us should have left, but this is where we are now. Stopping is not going to help. Follow the trail, Ubar. We'll get to her.
He'll focus almost primarily on that blood trail. The eyes just glued to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like his lifeline now.
Yeah. Okay. So you press onwards, and further ahead, after another 10 minutes of crawling through the, shaft, you see that the blood trail stops, and that there is a grate in the, the flooring of the shaft. Which looks like is where Sonata and potentially the monster went through. You can't see down below. Whatever's below you is pitch black, but presumably some kind of room.
There appears to be a grate. It appears this is where they went down. This could lead us north.
Can we hear anything? Can you hear anything, Ubar?
Ubar, give me a roll here. Have a listen.
Breathing, splashing.
Ooh. Hey, I thought it was in there. You can hear some splashing down below, but you can't make out any voices.
There is splashing. There does seem to be activity. And Ubar will start to try to remove the grate.
Okay.
We should be aware that perhaps we were being baited into a trap with the directions and the... we have no way of knowing that Sinate is actually eaten. She might still be out in the tunnel.
Ubar, you should have a headlamp on. Turn on the headlamp. Take a look first before you go down.
Okay. Very good idea. Thank you for the direction. And turn it on and walk on down.
You turn it on, and you see below you a figure which looks to be a lone man walking with a headlamp on, hasn't looked up at you and seen you, and you recognize it to be the man who ran. He's bleeding from his leg quite deeply, and you're unsure as to how he got here when he headed south back to Nataku. Like I say, he hasn't noticed you yet, so it would be up to you whether or not you wanted to make yourselves known to him.
He's below us, right?
Yeah, he's below you. You're sort of looking down there with a light up through the grates, and he doesn't have his eyes on the ceiling at this point. He seems to be searching around the room with his gun and his light as though he's expecting to be attacked.
Oh, decisions, what to do. Comments. There is someone down there that had tried to run from us before. Do you wish to join us up here, or us go down there?
Does the blood trail for Sonata end at this grate as well?
It seems to, yes.
Maybe he knows a little more than we do. I think he should come join us. We can ask him some questions before we join him. Can you bring him up here?
With pleasure. And we're going to play the claw game almost like it was a video game. The minute he gets under the grate, down, and yank him up.
You scoop him like a treasured teddy bear or something like that. I don't know. I had a sad childhood. I never did that. But you scoop him up, and almost immediately, he's like, "What the hell's going on?" As you yank him up into the grate. I mean, getting him up there is going to require quite a bit of strength, but between the two of you, sort of do it. He thinks he might be being attacked by the monster until he sees you actually there, Ubar. He's like, What the hell? What the hell are you guys doing here?
We are looking for our friend. You went the other direction. Now you are here.
You're lost.
Listen, I don't know anything about what he was up to, okay? I was just... And you can see that his leg is, like, fucking bleeding. It looks like maybe not a major artery, but something's been nicked in there that doesn't look like it's stopping. And so he's struggling to continue to make, speak sentences reasonably to the group of you.
How large is this tunnel that we're in? The ventilation ducting that we're located in currently, how large is that?
Well, there's a good amount of duct, mostly from the tape. It's a little bigger than the one in Die Hard 1, so you could probably get round Ubar if you wanted to get closer to him.
Yeah, I just blood seems to be attract this creature, so he Amits is gonna grab a bandage and he's just gonna kind of wrap it up, not quite tourniquet, but wrap it up really tight, at least kind of slow down the bleeding so it's not dripping from the grate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's thanks. This is pretty bad.
Yeah,
how did you acquire it?
There's more than just whatever that thing is down here. I think it was a lion. A spark lion. It jumped at me out of the dark, grabbed my leg, I shot at it and ran. I had to turn around after all of the flooding and the tunnels to Nataku. There's no way through there, so I'm here. What the hell are you guys doing up in this thing?
Does his story sound reasonable given the wound that I just bandaged?
Yeah.
And what I know of lions and the attacks?
Yeah, lion could feasibly claw at him and get him pretty bad. It may not have been a lion if it was dark and he saw something jump out at him. He could be playing tricks on himself. Certainly something cut him up pretty good here. But Sonata is actually the sort of expert on that one, I think.
Yeah.
So Savi would have a good idea then. Being from the
She's
wild.
from the wilds, yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I have good idea.
Yeah, do you want to take a look
what kind of idea do I have? Yeah.
You have so many good ideas right now.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take a look at it. What do I do though?
All good ideas. Yeah, no, you take a look at it. If you're trying to assess whether or not a spark lion could do this, it feasibly could, yes.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like it could be a spark lion to me. I don't think he's lying.
Why would I lie?
He is not. Because you and your boss, especially your boss, has a great decency of doing that. He has lied to you and us this whole time. He is now feasting on your soldiers and now my friend. So if you are in league with him...
Wait, you're saying that he's behind all of this?
Oh, he has readily admitted it. And because of this, we are going to proceed with his termination. You may assist in this termination as well.
Is there a way to sense if he's lying, if he is who he says he is? I mean, if Davro could change into the monster, could be the monster, maybe he could... Amis doesn't trust this guy who's kind of... And just something just seems off to him. He wants to make sure this guy is who he says he is, that he's not lying to us.
Sure thing. Roll me 3d4. You know, I don't think Amens has seen something that he hasn't seen something like Davaron before. So you can't be like, aha, I remember when I saw a shape-shifting bastard before, and this is what they look like. The suspicion is there in your mind. You definitely don't totally trust this guy after everything you've seen. But, you know, he looks just like the man that you spoke to before. He acts just like him. The wound is confirmed by Savi to be potentially from a lion. Maybe just one more unfortunate soul caught up in all of this.
Yeah, I think being shaken the way he is and having these memories in his, or that one memory still in his head, he doesn't have the paranoia that Alam does, just the suspicion. Everything is off.
So you guys gonna help me with this or what? I'm fucking dying here. I'm bleeding all over this shaft.
Bandaged.
Okay, well, is it gonna be okay?
When we get out of here and you to medical attention, yes, it will.
I was thinking maybe there's a way around, you know, rather than just heading straight south to Nataku, maybe we could head round. Yeah, east is where we're going now. Maybe we could double back and get back to the city that way.
We need to head north. That is where your boss is.
Davaron. Yeah. All right. Well, last time I left you guys, I got cut up pretty bad, so do you mind if I stick with you?
That
No,
probably
you
would
can
be a
take
good
point.
idea.
You can take point.
With my leg? I don't think I'm going to be moving very fast.
Uber will be right behind you. He'll make sure that you don't slow down too much.
Yes, I will assist you.
Would Sabi have any sort of like medicinal knowledge, like herbs and stuff like that could help?
Yeah, you actually did pick up a bunch of medical gear before at the camp, so it'd be up to you whether or not you wanted to use it on this guy or not.
Well, I don't want him slowing us down, and I don't want him bleeding on everything if that's going to attract the monster. So just out of pure self-preservation, I think that I would try to help.
Cool. Yeah, he says, hey, thanks, I appreciate it, as you heal up his wound a little bit. And, you know, maybe after 5 minutes or so, whatever sort of painkillers you've injected into his leg start making him, you know, move a little bit better. North, okay. Well, then come down here with me. And he, like, heads finally, blissfully, out of the shaft and down into the water below.
So you're saying he shot out of the shaft real full speed ahead?
That is what I'm saying. Yeah, full speed ahead.
Okay. Yeah.
No turning back now.
Nope.
Nope.
We will embrace this.
No,
Well, that's up to you to decide, really.
We've already embraced the shaft port of this adventure.
Right. Embracing is maybe as far as you want to go.
Time to
Embrace
carry.
shaft.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So you linger on that
Slide on
one
that.
for a moment longer, and then you head out down into the water below, and water's now just up to your ankles at this point. The whole section of this ground has been flooded pretty bad, but some parts worse than others. So you're relieved to find yourself on relatively dry ground and take a tunnel headed to the north with this man whose name is Lucian. That's what his name tag says. Headed northwards again. He's on point, so he's got his little flashlight looking out into the gloom ahead. Up ahead, after another hour or so traveling with Lucian, there's a door up ahead with a little red light at the top of it. Looks like a little red LED at the top of it, which signifies that the door itself is locked. He says, looks like someone doesn't want us getting in here.
Usually that
Can I
means-
tap into a memory of unlocking the homes for the masters when they would come home and see if I can possibly overwrite the pad?
Yeah. I think this is something that Ubar would have had experience doing before. Whether or not he truly remembers that or not. So I would let you have a roll on that.
Okay.
And that is not a success. Ubar comes up
Nope.
empty when he takes a look at the door. Maybe we could find another way around. I mean, north isn't the only way through here. We could head further east, maybe loop back around. Back to Nataku.
How about
well,
Ubar?
Armand and swing down his energy staff and just say, where brain fails, maybe brawn suffices.
Yeah.
Shoot the door. Well, whatever's inside's going to hear us coming.
It already knows. It is now
Alarm.
hunted.
Maybe just break the panel with the staff. Or do we break the door down?
Breaking the panel would certainly be easier, but you could run the risk of shutting down the door's automation altogether.
Yeah.
So that's up to you. What does Alan want to do?
Alam
Stafford, you there, buddy? Oh, there you go. Sorry.
Yeah. No, Alam will look at Armin and Cyrus and go, I don't think I have the power to get through the door with my own. If all of us concentrate on the lock, we may blow through. Otherwise, just bashing it.
Can Amit pull out an energy weapon and pull a Han Solo on the lock?
Give me a roll for that, seeing as it's a super cool thing.
Okay. 3, correct?
Indeed. There it is. You Han Solo the lock in whatever cyber lock is there. You shoot it right off, and the door changes from red to green. Looks like whatever you did just worked.
Ubar will just look at Immense and just go, that is a new type of key.
Yeah, call it a skeleton key. It opens just about any door.
I will have to get more of these skeletons.
And he's still got the energy weapon in his hand. He's ready to come through that door to see what's on the other side.
Are you taking point?
Yeah, I think he is. He's still kind of been lost in his head a little bit with everything that happened, so he's full on in that that whole soldier fighting place in his head. He's trying to suppress the memories, but they're fighting back, and so he's trying to maintain a balance right now between the nightmares that are coming and the pain that causes, and not letting him through until what needs to be done is done. So yeah, I think he would go ahead and take point. He'd just kind of, up against the wall, push it open, and, proceed to enter.
Okay. You enter into a room that looks like it may have once been, or maybe still is, some kind of museum. It's filled with these pillars with glass capsules around them, within which are a multitude of strange oddities and slightly alien-looking artifacts. There are maybe as many as 100 in this room, and the room itself is expansive. It's dark in here, no lights on, so it's only the illumination of your headlights around the place. So you're seeing sort of lots of dark pillars, and you can't really perceive all the way into the gloom of this chamber. You don't hear anyone moving within inside or anything moving, but it is quite a strange thing to come across. Although Nibiru is filled with strange rooms just like this for those who happen upon it.
Ubar, this is north.
This is north, and this is quiet. I believe we are wandering into Alam's definition of a trap.
Or they didn't go this way. They continue.
Every trap that gets set, someone has to eventually come check it. I mean, even if it's a trap, he'll be here. We just have to wait.
He has liked returning to the scene as almost a ego boost to his kills as well. Is there any lighting or anything around this area? That a wiring of lighting?
It looks like it's pitch black. You do see some wires that maybe once worked right alongside of a wall, but they look like they've been blown out a long time ago and are past repair.
We have our headlamps. That's light enough. Let's move forward. Unless you want to continue down the tunnel, Ubar.
No, let us continue forward.
Lucian says, I don't like any of this. Something seems strange about this. What the hell is this place doing here?
You're free to continue on your own down the tunnel.
Yeah, all right.
No.
Fine.
Just grab him by the back of the neck. Continue with us. It may need to eat first before we fight it.
He gives you a look. Great. So now I'm just food.
I mean, I didn't fix your leg to be nice.
Well, what about her? Isn't she food as well? Isn't she new here as well? Huh?
You are in a connection that I do not quite trust yet. You were
I'm
working
helping.
for him.
Hey, I'm helping too.
Exactly.
We're walking.
So keep proceeding forward.
Amundsen will resume his position in the back, making sure that checking that nothing comes up behind them, that kind of thing.
Okay. So Lucian and the rest of you begin to step into the room. Armin's, give me a roll here. There isn't way.
Oh, Fantasy Grounds, I love you so much right now. Thank you.
Thank goodness.
So as you're on the sort of rear guard, the other step into the room, you start to take a look at some of the strange oddities around this place. However, Alex, you notice that something it made a noise from the way you came and was close to the door for a moment before skittering away. Whatever it was, you caught out the corner of your eye, and it moved very, very fast.
I put a hand on Alam's shoulder. Something's out. Something in the doorway. And I turn, and I'm going to go back to the doorway and start looking down the tunnel, checking to see what's going on.
You take a look, but there's nothing there as far as you can see.
Alam will reach forward with his energy stick and just tap Savvy on the side of the arm, and as if she turns, he'll just put his hand up and gesture back towards Ahmet.
Yeah, she will not turn. She will jump out of her skin and turn around and go take a look at what he's pointing at quietly after the noise of her jumping in the air. Gasping.
Yeah, Ahmet's just going to be like, just... and he's going to stay still right there at the door frame and just kind of wait to see if it's going to come back or not.
Give me another roll here, Owens. Okay.
Not so good this time.
It's something is most certainly there. As you sort of like you just got one tunnel ahead of you. You got your gun pointed towards it. Whatever is coming down there, you should be able to see. To your horror, though, you realize that you can't see what's ever coming, but you can hear it as it's coming down the corridor towards you. It's a little sort of scurrying. And then you begin to hear it from behind you as well, and you realize that it's coming from somewhere above you. It's potentially within the ventilation system that you were previously just in. And now you can hear it. No longer in a tunnel. No longer in a tunnel, but in fact above the group of yours heads. Sort of that low clang of metal, slightly muffled, as something's moving above you.
Very slowly looks up with his weapon and looks for a target to shoot.
Is any of the sound familiar to Savi? Can she tell if it's some sort of creature?
It's most likely some sort of creature, just based on the speed that it's moving through that ventilation tunnel. You remember you guys having to sort of like pull your way through, and it's quite slow going. This thing is more like a skittering, like it has many legs.
Oh, so okay. So she, based on the skittering and how many legs and how quickly it's moving, could she get a size estimate based on what she thinks it might be, how big it might be?
Medium-sized would be fair to say.
Okay, guys, it's medium-sized, and it has a lot of legs. It's fast. See, I'm helping.
Lucian like gives you the middle finger as he's pointing his own gun like upwards. And as the group of you is staring up, you hear the skittering suddenly stop just right above the group of your heads, and then suddenly something big bursts out. I should say something medium-sized bursts out of the shaft from above you, and it rips apart from multiple angles the metal mesh that is used to build the ventilation, and you see that it has multiple long, almost gelatinous, and at the same time they look kind of hairy limbs. It has a carapace like a spider's, and it moves in that almost insectoid way, but with far more power than should be attributed to a creature of its size and a creature of its type. It wrenches through the metal with a screech. It has no head as far as you can tell. This thing clearly must live in darkness and is blind, but senses movement, sound, possibly smells the blood or hears the beating of your hearts as it wrenches out the metal. And I'd like all of us to roll some dice, 3d4 here, and this will determine whether or not you go before this creature or after it in a initiative order of types. Yeah, it really handles this shaft with some grace,
and
some
expertise.
mastery, and expertise. You could say it's well used to it. It's
It got
it's at
skill.
home.
Yeah.
It's got skills. You don't feel good about it, but you have to give it credit where credit's due. So Savi succeeded on check. Let's see, Alum looks like he failed.
Yep.
Ubar doesn't even add up to a 4.
And Alex, did you roll that? Did you get a 4 there? What these roll stuff?
Yeah, the 2, 4, 3 is what I rolled for that.
Cool. Okay, so Savi and Amit, you two are the first to act as this thing wrenches itself, 20 feet through the ceiling above you, and this is something unlike that which you have seen in your life. What do you do?
Does it appear to, now that it has come down, does it appear to immediately know where any of us are, or is it just kind of like poised?
So right now it's still at the ceiling, just having wrenched itself through, and you can sort of see its parts of its strange body. You certainly feel like it knows where you are if it's gotten this far.
Okay, so being still and quiet isn't gonna work. I
You could try
have
it.
a blade weapon
Yes.
of
Blade
some
weapon?
sort. Can I use that?
So right now it's 20 feet away. You could chuck it at it, or you could sort of get down into cover and prepare to fight it hand to hand.
Okay. I am gonna throw the blade weapon at it. Is a blade weapon a specific thing, or is it just a weapon with a blade on it? Like,
Yeah,
is
that sounds like a broad descriptor for something that could be a sword, or it could be a pike, or
Yeah.
it could be a dagger, whatever you want it to be. I guess really. Describe it to
I
us.
didn't know
What kind of blade weapon?
I didn't know if a blade
kind of
weapon
blade
was like a
weapon?
very specific type of weapon.
Yeah,
I
blade
think that
weapon.
it would. I think that since we had our own little conversation about dangerous knives earlier, I'm gonna go with like an 8-inch like kitchen knife style, but serrated. Yeah.
An 8-inch
Looks badass.
serrated kitchen knife
Yeah.
is Savi kind of
I
seems
know
like
those
this
can cut
normal
up
sort
real
of
good.
sort of normal person who's like caught up in this madness, but carries a fucking 8-inch serrated kitchen knife around. So you
never know.
love it out.
Stuff.
Hey,
It
Man,
was
I
in the
wish I had
caravan
a-
she found.
I'm not going to say that. Okay, so for a ranged weapon, if you could give me 3d4 on your attack roll against it.
I got 2 4s.
Beautiful. That's a hit. And then it seems like for damage, we roll a special roll, which is 1 die. So you roll 1d4 for the damage, and it'll tell us how many body status steps our target will shed away. That sentence was hard.
4!
Fucking hell, good,
Yeah!
good fucking shot.
I told
Savi
you those
just
knives are
fucking-
dangerous.
Yeah, lobs that 8-incher up there, and it embeds itself in the carapace of this creature, and you hear it sort of squeal, like something insectoid, a sort of almost like chitinous screech, which it lets out as you stab it with it. Some of it looks like it's absorbed by the heavy armor which the creature is protected by, but certainly that looks like it hurt it pretty bad. Amitz, what are you doing?
Okay, so I have a skill gameplay question. Influence points. Do I have 3 of them?
Yes.
Would I have 3 of them? Yes. Because I would like to call upon my nightmare.
Let's do that. That's, you know what, that sounds so fucking cool. Let's definitely say that happens. Tell me what that does.
All right, so the nightmare is a parasitic life form that nests within all Dreadlanders. It's deeply ingrained and integrated with the host. It likely infects them during the early stages of development. Long nervous terminations that are connected to the amygdala. I cannot pronounce that word tonight for the life of me. Up in the brain's temporal lobe. It's basically like it looks like kelp seaweed with these pockets of air and gas, long tubular pockets. And when the Dreadlander calls upon the nightmare, it pulls itself outside of the body, and he can invoke it and ask it to either you make a special roll, and then the nightmare either recoils and you go down a body step, or the nightmare obeys the request of the Dreadlander, and you give it a single command. Yeah. So he's going to call upon his nightmare. It costs 3 influence points, and then I do invoke the nightmare special roll, which is 1 die. On a 2, 3, and 4 to obey, and I'm going to say, I'm going to ask it to protect me. So a special roll is just 1d4, or is it that the
special roll is 1d4? Yeah, I think it's certainly 1 die. I'm pretty sure all of the die rolls are d4s.
Yep. All right, so that's what he's going to do, because his memories have been so close to him. Oh.
Success? 2, 3, and 4?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I rolled a 2.
It's gonna protect.
And a way
Yeah,
I
go ahead.
picture doing is it comes out of the neck. There's like a almost like a gill slit, and it comes out, and it just is this inky blackness that wraps itself around Amitz, and almost in a very snake-like maneuver, and just coating him, covering him, protecting him with his own pain.
It's fucking badass. Whatever you're like letting off, it's almost like the creature, maybe it's like pheromones. The creature can like sense it and smell it, and it's something familiar to it. It's maybe it's like the smell or scent of like young ones to it, and it's seems ingrained to obey that bestial command. And where it was maybe headed down towards you, it looks now as it jumps down to the ground, and you see the full extent of its carapace and 8 legs. You see that it has this strange, elongated black tongue, which is almost as sharp as one of the serrated knives which Savi just threw into it. And it like stands in front of you, Amitz, and is threatening the others, but acting towards you as though it were your protector. Now the monster gets to act, whatever hell beast this thing is. Between Ubar and a lamb, it smells the blood of a lamb and knows its weakness, as he's already been bleeding a little bit, and is going to try and give you a good licking with that devil tongue of pain. And specifically what it is. Okay. That's 2 steps down on the track. And I should have prefaced this by saying the Nibiru combat section is like, yeah, this is fucking crazy. Like, combat's fucking wild. You're gonna die. So that's 3 steps for a lamb on the track, which is bad news. As he's in some pain. Badly wounded.
With armor on there.
That could help.
That will take it down to 3 steps, a total of 3 steps. So yes, he's back into badly wounded because he started off partially wounded.
Okay, well that's something at least. So it just lashes out with this barbed tongue towards a lamb, and you see him fall back in pain as this creature lashes him. Now that takes us to Ubar and a lamb. What are the 2 of you doing at this point?
Firing back with the energy stick, since that's essentially to hand as it gets thrown back, I figure.
Okay.
So there might be a negative modifier essentially for the circumstance on this.
Yeah, I'll give you oh, hey.
Nice.
Can't contest the double 4s. Give me the D4 of damage. Beautiful. Okay, so again, some of this creature's armor is clearly capable of protecting it, at least to some degree. But the shot strikes it dead on mass, and you hear it squeal in pain. Ubar, what are you doing at this point?
How far away physically is Ubar from it?
Pretty close enough to be fighting it, so yeah.
So, as the tongues lash out at a lamb, it's going to go pretty much 1954 Godzilla, Mega Godzilla mode, and he's going to try to grab the tongue and start wrenching the tongue out, since he sees that's where its attack is.
Are you doing that with a weapon, or are you doing that with your robo hands?
He's going to try with robo hands and arms, since he was duct taping all the blades and all that to him. So he's going to try to wrap it up and then start twisting it. So
nice. Give us an attack roll for doing that. That sounds like it would be pretty painful for this guy.
Yeah.
Nice.
4?
And the 4.
That's slowly rolled over.
Nice.
I've never seen Fancy Grounds tip a dice.
Yeah, Ubar. You guys watch as Ubar physically rips the part of the tongue of this creature off. Barbs and all sinking into his duct taped hands. Once again, the duct tape proving invaluable. And this creature sort of wriggles in pain and is clearly having a very, very bad day. Savi and Amits, back to the 2 of you. What's the plan here?
Amits is going to shoot this thing. Its nightmare is coiled around him, protecting him. It attacked his friend. He's going to shoot it.
Amen.
That's a 4 in there.
4.
Mm-hmm. There it is.
Oh, only 1 point of damage though.
It barely penetrates the armor of this creature. Savi, what you got for us? You see your knife is still embedded in part of it, by the way.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna do some sort of really cool cartwheel over to it and just take my knife and either if I can pull it back out, then I will do that. But if I can't, then I'm gonna wrench it in more, whichever.
Give us a roll.
It's 3d4, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Correct.
I failed. Although if you add
Damn
two
it.
twos together, it makes 4.
That's so I hear. Okay. That's.
Can I
is
move
not-
away from it? What are the movement rules here?
Yeah, I mean it's sort of a bit more. It's a bit more freeform combat than like Dungeons and Dragons per se. So yeah, I mean you can dive in to try and get it and sort of pull away. You may sort of expose yourself in doing that to the creature, but I mean either way you're going to be standing right fucking next to it, so that doesn't seem like a good idea.
Yeah, I feel like I'm pretty cool, and it's scared of me now since I did a really awesome cartwheel. So I'm gonna cartwheel into it, grab my knife, and try to cartwheel away.
If there's one thing that intimidates me, it's the ability to do cartwheels. So I think this creature is probably
I bet
on the
it
same.
can't do cartwheels.
Yeah,
Well, that's true. Actually, it looks jealous. It looks jealously at you, even though it doesn't have a fucking head. Yeah.
That's right.
It's fucking right. Teach you a lesson. So yeah, you do that and dive out back into hiding. Okay, Armin's shot. Now the creature is going to try and jealously, in its jealousy, I think it's going after Savi here. So, oof, that's a hit. Okay, 2 steps on the track. So that goes from okay to badly wounded, but you got armor, so you're beaten down. Your character's taken some hefty blows, has been superficially injured, or is ill. This status step is not hard to recoup from, going back from okay at the end of the current scene. So basically, you've taken a hit, you've taken a couple of nicks, but at the end of the scene, you'll be mechanically okay. So that will bring us to Uber and Alam.
Go ahead, Alam. You take the lead again.
Yeah, Alam is essentially fallen back in a sitting position almost up against the wall, but he's just going to lift his energy stick and weakly fire off a shot, as it were. But it glances off the
the armor of the creature is enough to take that impact. And let's see, Uber, you're going to want to take this thing out pretty quick because it's not messing around.
Did I actually remove the tongue from it?
You have removed part of the tongue, yeah. At least the part
Alright.
that was on, Alam, yeah.
Okay, then we're going to swing it back around and smash its own bladed tongue into its side.
Wow, give some tongue on tongue.
It's now a bladed weapon, and it's worthless.
And it's terrible. So it's certainly no cartwheel, I'll tell you that much. Back up to Savi and Ahmed. I think Ahmed's he took the action last time. You watch as Savi's just been gouged by the monster.
I think Ahmed's is just kind of like, I need to kill this thing. He's going to move around where, so he's next to Ubar, kind of, he wants, and Ubar's grabbed this thing's tongue, so I imagine its mouth is hanging open a bit, so he's going to get, and just straight down the gullet, and hopefully this will hit.
Yes.
Nope. Oh, yep, there it is.
Yep.
There's the 4.
There's the 4. That's all we needed. Give us that
And
dice
3
roll.
damage.
Nice. All right, it's just as this creature is about to use the purchase that it has on Savi to try and eviscerate her. How do you end its existence?
He's pretty much within 5 feet of this thing. He take with his nightmare around him, almost kind of coiling up next to him. It's the pain, and pulls the trigger
Nice.
right down the gullet.
As it
Out the
dies, it retches, vomiting forth just this bile and spewing forth this black, acrid-looking ichor, which is now all over your feet as its body comes to a rest where you shot it.
I definitely cartwheel away from that.
It's a given.
He's holstering his weapon and going to alarm. He's already got the medical kit out. Bandaging his wounds. We're making a habit of this alarm. It's one we need to break.
I think I've broken enough already.
Yeah. You able to continue on, or do you need to rest?
Let's move. Let's move on.
Ubar, your phone is ringing.
Hello?
Oh, you're alive. I wasn't sure if you would be or not.
Do you realize this is now the third time you have misjudged us and found us to still be capable? Obviously, you are betting on the wrong side.
Perhaps that is true. Perhaps you would be more useful to me if you were on the same side as I. But
I
I'm
will
not
be
too
on the
sure.
same
You
side
look quite
as I
tasty.
rip you. Oh, trust me, you will taste my flesh.
I'm all right. Well, I'm gonna go now. Not sure how to feel about this,
We will continue to
but I
hunt you
will be
down.
back. Yes, good. Just got a lot to process. He hangs up.
Please,
He seems
process
like he was
this.
good.
Process this carefully. You have failed now 3 times. Your chances are over. Next time we find you, we will make you just as your better half here that I will skin and bring to pile on your dead carcass as well. Have a
At
nice
this
day.
point, he's gone. Yeah.
Note
You
yourself
sense
to
the
top the bar.
you sense a little bit of nervousness with in Daveron at this point. But certainly it's true that Alam is in a pretty bad way. By the way, if you drop below badly wounded, you are just dead. There's nothing that brings you back. No stabilizing, no healing. So he's on the edge right now.
We're no longer going through water, is that correct?
Correct. I mean, there was like a little bit under your ankles. Most of this area is sort of flooded in some way, but this part is pretty good.
I think Ahmed's is he's going to try and make some type of stretcher or something like that,
Okay.
and make a tripod so that Alam can be on the stretcher and he can pull him along.
That would work, yeah.
So once he gets him bandaged up, he'll do that. And then he can just drag him behind him. Some type of rigging drag system, so it's like around his waist and shoulders, whatever.
It's like a complex series of levers and pulleys, which you're using to bring along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then by this time, the nightmare's kind of slid back in, and Amitz is looking. He looks like he's in as much pain as Alam is without the injuries.
How's Savi dealing with this situation? Your wounds are gone, by the way, so you're feeling better again.
Oh, they're gone? Oh, that's fancy.
Yeah,
I
it's
like
like
this
end
game.
of scene. You're end of
Okay.
scene. You're feeling better again. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then I would offer to help with the stretcher and trying to push or carry or pull or whatever. If you need help with it, I'm happy to. He looks like
Yes,
he's in bad
please.
shape. Okay.
Yeah. You're all right?
Yeah, I'm
took
okay.
me-
He shook me up a little, but I'm all right.
Um,
I think I shook him up more than he shook me up.
all shook up?
All shook up.
Okay.
See, I'm helpful.
Yes, actually, you are.
Actually,
that
yeah.
guy?
It's funny.
The other
actually,
guy didn't
saying
do
that, as
anything. Yeah.
as you
Yeah.
look around, you realize the coward Lucian appears to have fled
Ah,
further onwards ahead of you.
Shocker.
worthless.
I do
He is the
believe he's
worst.
now on our list of things to exterminate or clean.
Pest control definitely needs to be done here, Obar, I think.
Yes. A Lucian is now a pest.
Yes, very much.
And what is, and he's going to pick it up and hold it at Savi, is this.
Do I know? I was
What
I
is
was
it that
looking
you're
in the book,
picking?
but I don't know.
And he's
What
picking
is
up
that
the
creature?
creature. And now you know if he's got the right end or not. He's just holding it.
This is something that you don't know immediately what it is. I'd let you give me like a roll on this one to see if you could figure
Is
it
that
out.
another 3d4?
3d4, yeah. So the basic
Always.
rolling system
Okay.
in the game is always 3d4. Let's have a look.
I got 4 total.
Well, that's close enough. No.
It's something that cannot cartwheel.
That much is clear to you. This thing, whatever it is, doesn't enjoy cartwheeling.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not too sure. I mean, there's all sorts of things it could be. It could be some kind of. It could be one of a kind, or just something that you've just never encountered before.
Yeah, I don't
suddenly
think
you're
that's from my
uncomfortable
neck
with
of the woods, man. That is not natural.
Ubar will
Is
take a
anything
good
down here
memory of
natural?
it and this
Sorry,
will
say
now
that
be filed
again.
under. This will now be filed under not natural, and he'll toss it to the side.
Yeah, it's pretty big, and whatever like black bile it's spewed up seems to be burning through the floor where it's been sort of lying.
Oh my god, it is a vinegaroon.
Perhaps it is most concerning for you, Alex, with given the fact that you've it's like on your boots, so it's like starting to corrode through your heavy boots.
I think he's gonna go find some water and kind of swish it around, try to get it rinsed off, get it cleaned off of there. Once he notices
The old
what's going on.
the old swoosh does seem to help.
Splashing puddles.
But you're pretty sure that would have burned all the way through your boot and into your foot if you hadn't gotten to it first.
Ow.
Can I
Does it
actually
burn?
take like a scale off of it, or an antenna, or part of a leg or
Yeah.
something? Because I'm interested in like identifying this later, or trying to.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Take the
Yeah,
sharp
pretty
tongue.
good.
It was a great bladed weapon.
Okay, I'll take the tongue. Why not? I'm gonna just loop it around my head or my neck.
Bladed whip.
Wear it like a sash.
Yes. Fantastic.
Because the next one that shows up will be terrified of that. If I combine that with the cartwheel,
With the cartwheel,
unstoppable.
one more combo. Yep. It's just game over right there for that creature. Okay.
Shall we move north, Ubar?
North again. And obviously, he will be sending more of these things. But I have noticed each one has been different. Almost as if younglings or possibly minions to him.
Minions?
They were talking about 2 more besides the main creature.
Yes. Sonata believed one was of a different thing. This is unknown. And yet he calls after each attack. I'm beginning to doubt my theory that he was a machine and perhaps something else.
Like he's connected to them?
Yes. Almost like a hive.
That doesn't sound pleasant at all.
And I believe we are not wandering into his trap as much as a nest now.
That sounds even less pleasant. I'm going to give Alam the energy weapon that's a pistol or a rifle of some sort instead of his stick. So since he's going to be being dragged along behind me, at least he can shoot at anything that comes up behind us instead of
For
trying to
sure.
beat it with his stick.
Okay. And we're patching up Alam as best we can and sort of pulling him along along the way. Okay, so as you make your way through the museum and you see more of the strange artifacts, these look to be old, very, very old indeed. Some of them you can vaguely recognize or just guess what their purpose may have once been. Others are more obscure than that, and you have no idea what their functional purpose would have been, or indeed if it still has a purpose, or would even work if you tried to use it. But that being said, you push through the museum, which seems to come out into another, even larger chamber than the one before. And this is around the time that you start to hear the bubbling. It's a low, soft bubble, almost like when magma sort of bubbles away happily, or you've got like a pot on the stove and it begins to boil, that sort of thing. It's coming from a head in this chamber, but again, there are a set of 2 doors which block the way. You can see vaguely into it, and there are lights on within that chamber. It's clearly quite big, but exactly what's happening in there, what the cause of the bubbling sound is, you're as of yet unsure.
Has
Guess
anyone
Melanie?
heard these? Does it sound like anything I would recognize from the house? Cooking
Is there an
wise, or
odor?
I mean, like I say, it's a bubble, so it could be that there's a there's a pot of tea on the go, or someone's cooking. It could be that there is a hot body of liquid which is bubbling away, and it does feel hotter the closer you get to the door. It does begin to feel like the humidity and heat within that room is probably far above what is in the museum that you're in currently.
you said there's 2 doors though, right?
2 doors, which are sort of like double doors, basically.
Okay.
Ubar, what are your physical limits?
As far as I know, I have none.
Environmentally.
As long as I can withstand much heat and much cold, much more than your skin can.
Do
Would
feel
you
up
like me
check-
to?
Yes.
I would gladly check this out, Immense.
Do not risk impairment of your function or cessation of your functions.
Very well. I will venture in. And don't we have a comm unit between all of us?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. I will keep you updated. I'll go to the door and gently start to push in one side.
You don't knock. How rude.
No.
You walk right in like you own the place, and start to take a look around the chamber. Like I say, there are lights on inside this room, which are coming from the ceiling, and these electric lights illuminate a sort of white, almost sort of reminds you like a hospital, I guess, kind of light, which reveals the floor, and the bubbling source, which you heard before, is revealed to you. It is some kind of deep blue, potentially even just black, liquid, which is boiling away in huge vats on the floor, which seem to be manufactured and are being produced. This looks sort of maybe not man-made, but it looks like certainly it's not naturally occurring. I'll tell you what it looks like. It looks like Wolverine's fucking bubbling pool in that one movie. Back when
that shall not be named.
Yeah.
Immense. It would appear that this is a fully functioning room. It has electricity, it has lighting, and it also has vats of some kind of chemical. I have not analyzed the chemical yet. Would you like me to attempt that?
Again, if you can do so without impairing your functioning or possibly ceasing to
damage.
function. Yes. Do not damage yourself.
Do you want to stick this tongue in there?
Man, if
So
I
now
had
we're
$1.
talking.
There's the clip.
Oh, dear.
That is a... Oh, God, I gotta try to say it straight. That is a good idea.
That's a very kind offer. But I'm a little busy right now.
I will come out and retrieve the tongue.
Okay, here.
Ubar, scanning the area, walks right out, and Chad's loving this too. And grabs the tongue.
So this is just pure science happening right now. It is what
Yes.
happens if I stick this alien tongue in this strange bubbling pool.
I mean, it could be acid. It's important to find
Yes.
out.
I was willing to dip
Right.
part of my appendage into it. Instead, we're going to stick the tongue in it. And that makes
This is
sense.
great.
I like this.
So as you do this, Uber, and you stick the tongue of the creature in, you see, and you sort of lower it in gently, the liquid bubbles up around it. And to your horror, you notice that the tongue appears to be growing and healing itself back.
Immediately
out.
yank it out. Walk back outside and go.
Again, if I had $1, fuck.
It would appear that we could put Alam in this and make him bigger and stronger and heal.
Just because it works on that,
Are
I don't know
you
that
calling me a tongue?
Well, you are flesh, and this is fleshy.
But they're different kinds of flesh, Ubar. It may not work on human flesh the way it does on that creature's flesh.
Perhaps another experiment is need to be made. And Ubar will walk right back in, ready to stick his hand into it.
Is Ubar covered in human flesh?
No, he's like plastic, poor mannequinish type looking thing.
But Ubar, I mean, that's not cute. That won't help either. God, where'd that asshole soldier go?
This is why we had Lucian, man. Ugh.
I know.
I know.
We should have tied
So
a
I'll
rope
stick
to him.
Ubar is plastic cannon.
Tell you what, Uber,
She
while
put
you're
a
in there,
bell
roll
on
me a
that
quick
bitch.
perception check.
Oh God, Lucian's already in there. Hold on, let me try that again. One four.
Something's floating in the pool that looks suspiciously like it may once have been Lucian. You see a little bit of flesh bubble up from the pool, and you see the outfit that he was wearing.
We've done this enough in the first episode. Ubar reaches down, grabs the fleshy jacket, lifts it up. And is it? Or was it deformed?
So you pull your hand out, is that what you were saying? You put yours in?
I put my hand and grab the fleshy thing out that I think is Lucian.
Oh yeah, it's like he's melted and deformed, and it looks like the skin cells have mutated as well in some way. It does not look natural in any way.
Is he alive?
Your senses, yeah, and you like literally drawn like an arm out from here, right? It's like actually an arm, but your senses are registering it as organic, living material. The flesh is somehow alive.
Walk out. I have found Lucian, and this is all that is left, but is alive of him.
Savi vomits.
Ubar will lift the arm up and look down and go, not the reaction I expected.
Ubar,
Yes.
put it back. And
Very
is
well.
there a way through the room that does not, without us falling into the pits? We need to find a way through the room that avoiding these bubbling vats. I would say
There is a way
there.
through. You'd be close to it. Yeah. It looks like Lucian may well have slipped. It does look like it's easy to do that in this location.
Toss it back in.
Okay.
If we walk carefully, we should get through.
Then let's walk carefully. And I look at Alam and I'm like, if I help you, do you think you can walk? I'm not sure I want to trust dragging you through this.
Amens,
I'll
why
be
do
fine.
I will assist him to walk because I will be able to adjust my traction as needed. That way you may steer clear and I will act like a crutch.
Let's do it. And since Ubar's going to be helping Alam, Amit, so go ahead and take point again.
Okay. I'd like everybody to give me a roll here to try and avoid slipping on the wet ground that you're walking across into this. Oof. It's better. Oof. And Lamb, Namets are okay, but Savi and Uber, you don't slip fully into it or anything like that. It's not like you're about to full on fucking eat shit and dive into this head first or anything, but both of you do slip for a moment, and you do go down a track on the body status. So you are beaten down as this. So it feels like acid. It feels like it's burning across your skin. Whatever splashed onto you, onto exposed flesh, begins to hurt intensely. But you do make it across the room and out away from the bubbling chambers. And there's another door in front of you.
Very interesting, Amens. That stuff actually registered a pain for me.
Well, let's get it washed off. You too,
Yes.
Savi.
Yeah, it feels like I got a real bad sunburn.
So before we go into approach the next set of doors, we'll get everybody get that stuff cleaned off of them.
You do notice a somewhat disconcerting sound coming from the bubbling pools as you get to the door. The bubbling is growing more intense.
If I glance around, are there any levers or buttons or switches or anything like that looks like that turn this stuff off?
There is a control panel looking thing which you think may help.
Okay, I'm gonna walk over to it and just try to shut down everything and just start turning all the valves off or whatever is on there.
Give me a quick roll. I'm just going to ask you to roll 2d4 at this point, seeing as you don't have any idea as to what this thing actually is supposed to do.
I also got 4 again.
Hey!
Just
that's
2 plus
not
2.
good still. So
Addition works.
So
it's fine. I'm new.
Oh.
We'll quit.
He rage quit. Okay, so you turn it off. Everything's fine.
The table has been flipped.
When you hit the button, Devrin actually fell into it.
Oh,
and,
yeah, that's definitely the way.
Yeah.
Instant win. Oh,
we
still can't hear you, boss.
Can't hear him.
We can read that. We can read that real well.
I broke him.
Wait.
Yay.
Test.
We
Yep.
hear
Oh,
you
there
now.
you go. I was just going to start subbing in words for you.
Okay.
Get back.
Nobody heard.
Luckily, there's no subtitles on what I'm saying. So, what was I saying? Control panel.
You're saying that
to-
2 plus 2 definitely equals 4 and that will work.
Definitely equals 4. That definitely sounds like me. You head over, but you're just not sure what's really happening there. And you realize to your horror, as you're trying to work the machines, that something is forming out of the bubble. And it's from the same vat from which Lucian had entered into before, where you just have the arm. And you see this semi-melted, mutated, warping mound of flesh forming from the vat through the heat. It's vaguely humanoid. Whatever was left of Lucian has now formed into this horrific mess, which seems to still have life. And you realize that the door which you're trying to get out of is locked as well, sealed shut as alarms start to blare and the creature moves towards you. And that's where we're going to end tonight's episode of Nibiru. Yeah.
Oh
Horror about. Oh boy, there was horror in more ways than one this episode. That was that was
Shafts,
a lot. Holy moly!
and
Yeah,
all kinds of things going on.
no!
It was all over the place. It was hot and heavy there for a minute. But that, unfortunately, is all we have time for here tonight, my friends. Hopefully you guys watching on chat have enjoyed it. If you're watching on YouTube as well, definitely check out Nibiru. You can still get your late pledges in, and shortly there'll be the pre-orders as well available via Backagit. So type in Nibiru RPG or follow the link down below. Check out this game. It's a whole lot of fun. Really versatile system. Pretty... mechanics light, so you can really do a lot with it, and the lore stuff is so because it's fucking weird, so you can go to a lot of cool places with it, which I've really been enjoying. So but let's go around the cast and the crew tonight. Did we enjoy ourselves? Where can we find you guys online? Let's start with Drake. How was that tonight for you and the wonderful Uber?
Oh, another great night for Ubar. Another fun of playing a very straight-faced, as I was trying through this episode, robot. Loving it, loving filling the machine, loving the mystery of Nibiru even more. And easy way you can find me, pretty much just turn on Encounter Roleplay. I'm either in chat or I'm on the screen. I'm somewhere around here. I feel like I'm stalking you at times. So
The court order's coming in next week, so it's fine until then.
So yeah, you can find me Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, all of that as @DrakeFinney_, and then catch me here as much as you can, because this is the place to be.
Fantastic, awesome stuff. Cleric Accord, how's that tonight for you, Adamites?
This was great. I do not like horror novels. I don't like horror movies. I won't watch them. I refuse to watch them. I love horror TTRPGs. I love it. Give me the horror in the game, because it's nice, safe, contained, and this is a blast. I'm having so much fun, especially when I can have my very own nightmare. That is my pet, and that hurts me. It's great. I'm Kat. I'm at Cleric of Cord. That's where you'll find me on the Twitters. I have a pinned tweet on my page. It tells you where I'm at throughout the week. I play a lot of games on the internet. Tomorrow, tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, as a matter of fact, I will be right back here for Grey Hawk, Basilica of the Cudgel, where I played Birdsong Periwinkle, a paladin, Oath of the Ancients. We have a lot of fun. We have a great group. I love it. Games the rest of the week, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then Thursday. So Monday back here for Inquisitor, Warhammer 40K, using mutants and masterminds. Loving this. It's just so much fun. And then on Thursdays, this next Thursday, we will be back with Deck of Many Worlds too. So join us next week on Thursday. If you're watching on YouTube, join us live for Deck of Many Worlds at 5 p.m. Eastern. And then if the tech gods are willing, maybe even back for episode 3 of Nibiru. And this game I'm loving it. I really am. I love it.
Absolutely. It's so much fun. And I'm loving these characters. And I love how the system is just oh, you remember this? And now you have some shit to deal with. Do you want to remember how to do something useful? Well, you better have some existential fucking dread while you do it as well. So it's it's a great combination for storytelling, and I'm loving it. Fantastic stuff, and as ever, poor lamb today. How's that tonight for you?
Oh, absolutely wonderful. There seems to be a red thread of whenever I guest on the channel, I'm either dead or almost dead. But we'll break it.
One of these days.
Great system, and such a great crowd to play with as well. So it's just a pleasure to join in with the gang. Who knows? Next week in the finale, it could go either way, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. Oh, where can we find you online, Stefan? Did you talk about that?
Yeah. Stuff on TJ on just about any media you care to think about or mention. I'm normally found either on here or on Grimjack or on Spreading Earth or any number of places, just hanging out in chat.
Fantastic. Awesome. Cannot wait for play again next week, my friend. And Buddy Saurus, joining in on that one. What was your first experience in Nibiru like, never having given it a go before, and what can we find you online?
Yeah, this was actually really, really cool because, as you spoke to earlier, how easy the game is to kind of jump into and how rules light it is. I only had a couple hours notice, and I was working, and I barely had any time to read over anything. And I was still able to jump in and have a good time and kind of get the hang of it a little bit. So I think that definitely speaks to how easy the game can be for those of us that don't always know what's going on. So I had a blast. It was super fun. Thank you for allowing me to join you guys tonight. Normally, I can be found also this night on Encounter Roleplay, playing in the Deck of Many Worlds with Cleric of Cord, and we will be back next week. And I love that game so much. It's so much fun, so you have to join in and watch us. We're planes hopping all over the place. And next up, I've got, starting this Sunday, kind of a 4-part mini campaign over on Katie Faze's channel. And I'm doing a couple of things there this summer, as well as the Heroes of Awesome Dominion of Estland, which starts up again on the 7th of July. And so I'm all over the place. I also have a pinned tweet on my Twitters. If you want to check that out, I'm at the Birdie Source on pretty much every website you can find on the internet. So just go check me out there. You can see what I'm doing for the rest of the summer. Yay.
Yay. Fantastic. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining us here tonight. We'll see you guys next week at the same time at 8 p.m. Eastern every Thursday.